When I saw the fire raging through California yesterday, I was hoping that it would be contained throughout the night, and by the time everyone woke up throughout the U.S., we would be able to assess the damage. We would have a good idea about how much damage was caused, how many homes were lost, how many businesses destroyed, how many people were killed, if any. But instead, it's like instead of hearing news about them containing the fire, it's like little fires kept popping up all over the place. And I understand that with these high winds, that this fire was going to spread. Like, I get it, right? You got hurricane-forced winds out there. So I understand that the fire is going to spread and the wind is going to make it spread more rapidly. But then there's fires popping up in certain areas that are kind of far away from where the initial fires were, and I'm questioning, like, what is going on here? Did this all start from one fire? Or are there other fires being started by other situations? And of course, you got these high winds, so maybe power lines and stuff like that are down, and they're igniting some of the dry leaves and the dry grass. I don't know. But it's like instead of hearing, okay, we've contained the fire to this area, it's like fires are just popping up all over the freaking map. And now, just moments ago, at the time of this recording, a new fire has just erupted in the Hollywood Hills. And I mean, California looks like something straight out of Armageddon right now. It looks like hell on earth. And fires are going to happen, people. But a lot of this could have been prevented. A lot of this could have been prevented. It didn't have to be as bad as what it is right now. I mean, just recently, California has been cutting a lot of funding to the fire departments, cutting funding to the firefighters. And California is like the last place on earth, especially in America, that should be cutting funding to firefighters. And where's that money going? Where is it going? Is it going to junkies on the street? Is it going to illegal immigrants and things like that? Going to a bunch of nonsensical programs? Speaking of which, they actually had a program in LA that was put in place specifically to cut down the number of straight white males that they were hiring to be firefighters. And guess what's happening now? They're literally asking for volunteer firefighters to step up. They're literally asking for like people in the general public to step up and to be volunteer firefighters because they don't have enough firefighters. Meanwhile, they are turning away straight white men at the door who are trying to be firefighters in the name of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this isn't me speaking because of my political beliefs. You can look it up. You have the internet. These programs exist. This is how batshit crazy LA is. So they've been cutting the funding. They've been refusing to hire people based on their race and sexuality. And just a few years ago, they fired a lot of LA's best, a lot of California's best firefighters were let go. They were fired if they refused to get the jab. So there's a lot of different problems that are going on in California that I'm not going to say necessarily caused the fire, although that argument can be made. But the reason things are so bad right now is because of how poorly this area has been managed by the people running things. And I don't want to go on this angry rant, but I'm angry. Because people are losing everything in these fires. And yeah, sure, some of them voted for it. Some of them kind of dug their own grave, but that doesn't matter to me. I feel bad for them. I know that they did not understand what they were getting themselves into. But as I was just saying, we were hoping, or at least I was hoping, that these fires would be contained by the morning. They weren't. None of them were. When I woke up, there were more fires than the day previous. That shouldn't be happening. And now, a new one just erupted in the Hollywood Hills. Thousands of more people have been given the orders to evacuate. And I don't know when this stops. I don't know when this stops, because right now, the fires, the flames are not slowing down, folks. But I want to go ahead and roll this clip from the news, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Is a new fire. This is the Hollywood Hills. This is the location that we were given, 2350 North Solar Drive. That's between Nichols Canyon and Runyon Canyon in the Hollywood Hills. There are a number of homes surrounding that. Chris Christie, are you available to give us some information about this?
Mark, very concerning sight here in the Hollywood Hills. We're just west of Nichols Canyon, just north of Hollywood Boulevard, where a major fire has just sparked in the last 5 minutes. We were over the Pacific Palisades. We saw the glow coming from over the hill, and just in the last couple minutes that it took us to get over here to Hollywood, this thing has exploded in size. You can see northerly winds coming through the canyon here, just west of Nichols, just east of Runyon Canyon, and you can see this is all very thick fuel that is fueling this brush fire. LA City Fire is aware of this fire. They have immediately called for the 20 closest trucks to respond out here. However, accessing this fire is going to require more than trucks. They're going to have to get a quick reaction force over here as soon as possible, or more likely LA City Fire choppers over here as soon as possible, depending on what resources are available. But this thing is blowing up before our eyes. It is a very sizable fire that is spreading rapidly. I'm going to try and get some more exact streets here. If you bear with me 1 second, Lucas. Pan over to the right. So that's Runyon Canyon Road to the right there. And if we pull out all the way, so we can just put this into a frame of reference. It's just south of Mulholland Drive. And if we come all the way out, you can see due north of Bonita Avenue and Vista Street off of Hollywood Boulevard. So we're talking about a 1.5 miles north of Hollywood Boulevard that is now on fire. It appears to be all brush at this point. Do not see the closest structure just yet. However, I think there's a house or a group of homes on the north side, on the other side of this fire towards Mulholland. We can't see it through the smoke right now, but this appears to be majority brush that is fueling this right now.
Chris, I've hiked Runyon Canyon so many times. I know Mark surely has as well. And you mentioned the streets, Bonita and Vista. Those are all the streets that, I take to get to Runyon Canyon. I'm concerned there's a lot of homes there, a lot of apartments, and our fire resources are already stretched so thin. Are you seeing any evidence of any response yet? I know it is dark, and I know we're just starting to follow it.
So literally, as I'm recording this video, you'll be watching it a tidbit later, but mandatory evacuation orders have just been given for the area, and the fire is spreading extremely quickly. Like, I'm watching the footage of this fire spreading rapidly. If you're in the area, if you're in any of these areas and you're given the order to evacuate, please do so. I know it might be the hardest thing you ever have to do in your life, but you don't want to lose your life because, I mean, listen, I can't say that I understand what these people are going through because I've never been in this situation. All I'm saying is, your home, you can't enjoy a home if you don't have a life to live. You know what I mean? You are the most important thing. You might have valuables and stuff like that, but you're more important than any valuable. So take this very seriously because we've seen tons and tons of homes destroyed. And luckily, as of right now, I don't think we truly know the death toll. But as of right now, I mean, it's not as high as I would expect. But like I said, I don't think we've even had a chance to really understand the amount of devastation that has gone on here because we're still in, or when I say we, they're still in the position where they're still trying to fight the fire and contain the fire, so they haven't really had a chance to really take a look at all of the damage that has been caused. But yeah, fire spreading rapidly, and I mean, you gotta question what is going on here, because yeah, I think you could chalk a lot of it up to incompetence. A lot of the weird programs and stuff they got going on in LA. The fact that they're not even providing enough water to these areas. Like, you need to water your grass and stuff like that in these areas for real. You can't be dry out here, you know, in places like California. That's how fires start, or how fires easily spread. Yet there's a lot of dry areas out here that aren't getting the water that they should be getting because of the policies in California. But we could go over that all day. Right now, I'm just going to keep my eye on what's going on here. I want to know your thoughts about all of this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next video.